before my 5-year anniversary.
Go on, what happened?
My cancer came back. So I was like, do you know what? So
and was that back on the breast again?
Yeah, this is the thing as well. I mean, with any illness, cancer illness or any, if you're not happy, you know your body, go back to your GP.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the GP, I'm not going to go into everything with my GP, but I'd been for about 3-4 weeks with this cough.
Right.
And they kept saying to me it's viral, because that seems to be the word every time you go with a cough or anything. It's viral, it's viral. Can I have an x-ray? No, it's viral. You need to do this, you need to do that. So I think about 2-3 weeks in, I had this massive coughing fit and I was coughing blood up. And I went round to doctor's surgery without an appointment and went into receptionist, and I sat into the thing. I said, I'm here to see a doctor and I'm not leaving till I've seen a doctor today. Yeah. And it was always bizarre because I always remember it was about the 22nd of December, it was Christmas time.
Right.
And I said, I want an x-ray. And she sent me straight up to an x-ray. And then on the 27th, I think it was 27th, I got a voice message from the GP saying, Helen, can you come to surgery? So I was like, do you know what? I said, it's come back. And they went, it might not be, I said, give it up, it has. So we went and they looked and they said, you've got fluid on your lungs full of fluid. Wow. We can't say if it's cancerous. What we need to do then is send you to Leeds. You need to have all these tests. They'll put a chest strain in. So I went to Halifax. Because the thing is, they move you to every hospital. You used to be able to go to one, but now you go to Huddersfield, you can go to Halifax, and you have to go over to Leeds, then you go to Christie's. So it's not a one place anymore. Yeah. Where you could just turn up at Huddersfield Royal and stuff.
And everything would just be done with you going all the way around the houses. Which I bet that's frustrating while you're going through. Of course it is.
Nobody should have to do with it. And you know, luckily I've got the sort of medical background that I know what I'm asking and doing. Yeah. And we went to Halifax and said, right, we need to put a needle through your back into your lung and drain this off. I was like, I think with all surgery and things I've ever had done, I think that was the worst thing I'd ever done.
Really?
So they did the scan and then he come back and said, it's gone off, we'll tell you, but if that's cancerous, pleural effusion it was called, if that's cancerous, then, you know, that's a game changer. Yeah. So he said, no, and while we're there's 2 areas on your lung that we're not happy with. You've got 2 shadows on your lung. So to cut a long story short, I had drains put in, waited that call. They said the fluid was clear, wasn't cancerous, which was good. You know, all things considering. But the 2 areas of my lung where it came back weren't so lucky. So that's incurable.
Curable. So you've got incurable cancer now.
Yeah, so it's called incurable breast cancer, but it's secondaries on your lung. Yeah.
So it started with the breast and now it's spread to the lung.
Yeah. So I have chemo every day for 3 weeks and then have a week off.
Is that at home or do you have
tablets?
Right, okay.
So it's tablets now. So they asked me to go back to Huddersfield and I said I'd like to go back to Christie's. Yeah. Because do you know what? Anybody with cancer, and if you get a chance, I'd go to Christie's every time. Yeah. It's leading the field. Yeah. So I met my consultant over there and got a fantastic relationship with him. He's brilliant. Yeah. He's there anytime. So we said, you know, I'm under no illusion, it'll never be cured. Yeah. You know, so I've just to live with that. But the chemo's holding it, the chemo tablets they're called. Yeah. And then they put me in early menopause and stuff. So I have a shed load of tablets. I have tablets to keep me alive, tablets to keep me awake, tablets put me to sleep. So it's just...
So tell us a bit more about your cafe.
So it was about the time that I got diagnosed secondaries, and it was coming through COVID, and Graham had just come, and a lot of the olders hadn't been out through COVID. Yeah. And Graham was sort of visiting him at the bottom of the garden path and stuff. Oh, and then we started with the church warden, and my mum's the church warden there. We thought about getting them back into church, not necessarily to the church, but as a place where they could come and we can get them out safely. Yeah. So
that communication, socialisation going forward.
And it was really hard for a lot of the old dears. Yeah. So we said, let's just do coffee and cake. It started as. Yeah. And then we put some tables and chairs out, and I think a couple of weeks later we got some free books and jigsaws. And we started off with about 8 or 9 people that first week.
Yeah.
And then it grew and it grew and it grew. And we'd do soup and sandwiches. It was free to anybody, and which is today.
Yeah.
And then after we got grants and loans from Kirklees, helped us to put in new disabled toilets in.
Yeah.
And then that first winter we said church is too cold because it is freezing.
Yeah, and then you
went into the church hall
Yeah.
that year, and I think we're into our 4th year now.
Wow.
And we have regular about 100 people plus every Thursday where we do free food. We've got a fabulous amount of volunteers. We've got about 12, 14 volunteers every week now. So do hot meals. We've got a fabulous lady that does all the cakes and custards. And we've got free books, free jigsaws.
Yeah.
And it's a community hub now.
Yeah.
It's free for anybody that wants to do it. So we have a lot of people that we support that can't afford to go and have a hot meal.
Yeah.
And then we decided there was a place for people now. We sent a lot of stuff home on a Thursday. Soup and sandwiches and cakes. Not just the elderly, but I think sometimes the elderly lose out a lot when you've got food banks because you can't get to them. And families. You see, family support and stuff, there's a lot of stuff. But for our elderly in there... we were giving food away, and then we found this thing saying, do you know what, because I've not got enough to do in Marsden, let's see if we can start a food bank up.
Yeah, because you started a food bank, didn't you? Yeah.
And the food bank was just to give food out, free food. So we started the food share with the co-op, so we got a lot of free food given. Katie's Cafe, brilliant, you know, we've got food tubs in there. She does food for us and soups and stuff. So the food bank for Marsden was about Marsden. It wasn't about Slathwaite Food Bank, which they do a brilliant job themselves.
Yeah.
But a lot of our people, our older people, can't get to Slathwaite.
Yeah.
You know, and we send them home with food. We get people ringing us up from all over Huddersfield, support workers, saying, can you support a family because they've nothing and we've just turned up? Because we can open it sort of ad hoc.
Yeah.
So I think now we support about 15 to 20 families.
Wow.
And it's not a massive food bank, but we rely, as we do on church and the community cafe, on grants.
Yeah.
So we get grants, we can buy stuff, try and get stuff in the village to put back. We can buy vouchers. We've just got a voucher now, we can help with gas and electric.
Right.
But it doesn't stop us saying, you know, have you got this? Can we have that? Have you got some nappies?
Yeah.
And it's just anything goes really. But we've now moved it to same day as Thursday, so it's all in one place.
Oh,
but it's massive. But it's run by volunteers. It's not run by me. We started it, but it's the volunteers in the community that run it.